world. I could talk about it forever. That was fun. Let's move on. Second story of the day is about Rand Paul and Donald Trump. I like Rand Paul. He's one of my favorite politicians. I always say, here's what I like about politicians, or here's what politicians I like. Donald Trump, even though he's not a politician, he's my favorite. He's the best. He's got common sense. He's not a pushover. He's hilarious. He's pretty calm. He's like, what? Guys, come on, help me out. This is basic. He's not mean. They're always like, Trump is so mean. Trump is so mean. When you listen to him, he's like never mad. He's literally just like, guys, come on. What are you doing? And like, he makes jokes. He's hilarious. Anyway, I like Trump. Get it on iTunes. No, I'm just playing, but seriously. I like Trump. Rand Paul, Tulsi Gabbard, like everyone, but Trump is so much higher than them for a reason. I like them, but I don't like them as much as Trump. So Rand Paul did a whole little op-ed where he said, I like Trump and I support him, but I don't think he has the right to use the emergency order for the wall. I think it's bad. Obama did it. You know, no Democrats called Obama out because obviously they're hypocrites who just lie all the time and don't actually stand for anything. They just literally flip reality. They cause mass chaos and mental illness to the masses. Literally, they're just like, ah! Like when I think of Democrats and liberal media and LGBTQ and progressive ideology, I think of like somebody who's just like shaking you and just being like, ah! And then all their people are like, ah! And then you see like they're at the Hollywood Star and they're like, they're literally dressed as dogs and Trump supporters like, ah! And you're just like, then they're like, I'm just like, what? Like, take a nap, take a week off, let's come back to the drawing board and let's talk about liberal solutions. Like, they're literally psychos at this point. But I don't even know I was talking about that. I was trying to talk about Rand Paul. Anyway, so Rand Paul says it's not a good decision. I respect Rand Paul for a reason. I don't like him as much as Trump. I find him a little bit cucky, to be honest. Not to name names. I had a whole debate on this with Nuance Bro about why I think they should use it, and Nuance Bro had it. It's a good debate. Point being, I don't like Rand Paul as much as Trump, but I do like him, and I do like that he stands in his morals and stands in his values, even when it goes against the conservative party. That's how Rand Paul feels. He's like a strict type of guy, and you need somebody like that. That's fine. People are saying Rand Paul's a sellout. You know, Rand Paul's horrible person. I don't think so. I think that's just who he is. But that's why I don't like him as much as Trump. My thought is, I had a big debate with Nuance Bro about this. There are, I won't even say loopholes. There's a few things you can reference to. You could look them up yourself and really do research. There's a lot of acts, and there's also things that the Constitution and also like amendments and not amendments, bills and stuff that they passed. There's ones that you can justify using an emergency order for this. You could say it's an act of war. You could say it's an invasion. There's a lot of ways that you could make this legal. So that's why I disagree with Rand Paul. And my main reason was the Constitution, and this is a point people don't understand. The Constitution only matters, and I'm not a politician. Honestly, I'm not a lawyer. So I'm just telling you what makes sense. You could justify anything, and that's part of the problem of our system. People are like, yeah, and they hide behind lawyers, and they hide behind creepy bills that they've passed. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. If you don't have a country, you don't have a constitution. The only reason the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all these amendments and bills we pass, the only reason they matter is because we have a country. If our country gets taken over by Russia or by Mexico or by China or by Islam or by Canada or by anybody, the Constitution doesn't matter anymore. Do you get that? So that's my point, that I don't know where it stands legally, but if we don't have a border, we don't have a... So Rand Paul's like, the Constitution... It's like, dude, the Constitution doesn't matter if you don't have a country. There's got to be a rule on the book that says you're allowed to protect your country. And it is an invasion. When you have 50,000 people getting arrested at the border, they say, it's not an act of war, it's not an invasion. First of all, with the caravans, 20,000 people coming at the border, it's an act of war. If you go to any society ever, Romans to Europeans to China to Russia to America to South America, any society besides our brainwashed, dumbed down, completely coddled and privileged, delusional society of all time, and you tell them the statistics, is 20,000 people coming in a caravan, is that an invasion? Is 50,000 people getting arrested per month at the border an invasion? Is 20 million people coming illegally over the course of a decade or 2 decades? Is that, any sane society would say that's an act of war, that's an invasion. The only reason we don't say that is because we're stupido, which translates from Spanish, which is going to be the main language of America. Thank goodness I know some of it soon. It means stupid. We're very dumb. It's an act of war, obviously. It's so obvious. I mean, read any book. I don't know, is this from I don't know where this is from, but the Trojan horse story of, they filled up a Trojan horse. They came in, surprise, here's your gift. You're all dead. We took over that was a small Trojan horse. You're talking about tens of millions of people slowly taking over. And I'm not saying that Mexicans and South Americans have a nefarious agenda. Most of them don't. But it's just basic common sense that this is an act of war. It's just basic common sense that many people entering your society illegally without registration. And Trump wants more immigrants. We all do. Legally, with merit-based. I have Muslim friends from Pakistan. I had them on my my podcast. His family, who are good people, he's a great guy, can't come to America because of liberals. He can't stand liberals because they just roll the dice. They're like, oh, let's not take pharmacists and doctors and people who went to school and love America. Let's just take crappy people and ISIS members. Like, they're literally lobbying to take ISIS members. This is not sarcasm. Look in the mainstream liberal journals. They're all like, it's just an ISIS bride. Meanwhile, doctors and pharmacists can't get in because liberals ruin everything, and progressives, they don't, merit-based. I don't care if they're from Pakistan. I don't care if they're from Nigeria. I don't care if they're from Mexico, but I want them to be based on merit. That's what Trump wants, a merit-based program. And liberals are like, let's let them all in a league. It is an act of war. There's got to be a way to build the wall legally. It's like we're at war with so many things. We're at war with tens of millions of people coming in. We're at war with billionaire people who are ushering all of this stuff to try to culturally Marxize and completely subvert our society. Our food supply is at war. Our medicine supply, the whole medicine industry is at war. There's people internally already at war with us. It just slowly happened and they took over and now they're everywhere and they're so smooth about it. And guys, liberals and progressives have to realize the people who run your whole operation, the people who pay Andrew Gillum, the people who subsidize Alexandria Cortez, the people who, sponsor events that Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are at, and Cory Booker, they operate from a playbook of total control. They're not operating from a playbook of ground. They just say that because they know you're stupid enough to believe it. They know the only way to make you give up your money, your freedom, and your power to the federal government and hand everything over to their organizations is by saying, it's the workers, we're standing up for the... They know that at the high level, guys. Bernie Sanders is just a useful puppet idiot. For people who are like, dude, no, we're for the... They know this stuff, guys. They know that Open Border... They run operations called Open Society Foundation. You think they don't... Even the Koch brothers, Bernie Sanders says, even the Koch brothers agree with me on this. It's because the Koch brothers are Republicans. Trump is a real deal guy. He doesn't even like the Koch brothers, dude. They're all liars. Why do you think Bernie Sanders says, George Bush was a real conservative. That's all he was. Trump is a liar. It's because Bernie Sanders likes George Bush. Bernie Sanders likes the Obamas and the Clintons. Like, they're all friends, guys. It's so obvious. And Rand Paul, I get it. He's doing what Rand Paul does. He's like, let's do this. But that's no offense. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I love Rand Paul. I appreciate him. I think him and Ron Paul are great. But there's a reason why Rand Paul will never be president. There's a reason why Ron Paul was never president. Because they don't have a spine, guys. They're just like, let's do this like, and it's cool. It's like, let's do it like that. That's how you get run out of the mainstream media, Rand Paul. That's how you get knocked to the 12th aisle. Like, you're so far to the side in the Republican primary that you can't even see you. Like, the camera only gets the first 7 people. And like, Rand Paul's like, guys, I'm over here preaching end of the Federal Reserve. It's like, Rand, we can't hear you, bro, because you're so far off the stage. I'm all for the Constitution and laws, but it's like there are things on the book. There are laws, there are bills, there are ways if you frame it properly, and that's all the left does. It's all branding and it's all framing. If you frame it properly, if you frame it as an invasion, if you frame it as warfare, if you frame it as no borders equal no country equals nothing, none of this matters. The laws of this country only matter if the lawmakers follow them. Our lawmakers right now, Rand, don't follow the laws. You have lawmakers, all of the Democratic lawmakers are lobbying for illegal immigration. So you have lawmakers who don't follow the law. You have a country that doesn't have clear borders with 50,000 people getting arrested. It's an invasion. It's an act of war. And the Constitution doesn't matter, Rand, if you don't have an actual country. Establish the country, and then we can follow the Constitution. But with no country, no borders, none of it matters, Rand. That's my thing. Someone said, why do you have gloves? They're good for my hands. It applies pressure. My hands and my back hurt because I do a lot of work on the computer. I'm stretching. I'm going to get jacked this year for no reason. I'm just going to gain 100 pounds of pure muscle mass and just stun on the game. So just get used to it. Third story of the day. Wow, we're only 2 stories in. Sheesh, I got to take a break and have a sip of coffee. How about this? I'll read some comments for a minute or 2 minutes. See what you guys are talking about. I'll drink some coffee, answer some questions, and then we'll go to the last couple stories. I appreciate you guys for joining. I've been very busy, but I do like to, I'll give some personal shout outs, and if you guys have any questions for like 5 minutes, we'll do that, and then we'll go on to, I got Google finds that it underpays men, France Yellow Vest protest, and Tommy Robinson. We got 3 more stories. Someone said carpal tunnel. I don't know what it's called, but my hands hurt pretty much. My back hurts. I got screwed up spine, guys. It's in the family, plus also I do too much computer work. I sacrificed. It's a meme war, guys. I'm memeing. Jeremy Sawyer, let's see. We got Melanie, said I wear them for arthritis too. See, guys, it's not because I'm cool. It's because they're good for my hands. I know some people are like, dang, Anomaly thinks he's so cool with the gloves. It's for my hands, guys. But also, they kind of look kind of cool, but they're not that cool, let's be honest. See what you guys are talking about. Carolina, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Sarah said, I think you've had enough coffee. Sarah, that's where you're wrong. I got to get more jacked up. Someone said, are you into firearms? Are you Second Amendment friendly? I'm super Second Amendment friendly. I'm trying to get better with firearms. I've shot before, but I'm a little rusty. I like them for protection and self-preservation. But also the Second Amendment is so important. Look who's trying to take away the guns. Like, every progressive and liberal should know this. There's no progressives or liberals that don't want gun control. It's all a system of control. High taxes, gun control, speech control. It's all leftism, guys. It's not. It's so obvious. It's all a lie. So yeah, of course. There's a reason the Second Amendment's important. It's not for duck hunting. It is for personal protection, yes, but also protection against the government. I've always known this. Even when I was more liberal leaning, I've always known this about the guns. I was never a fan of guns like in my teenage years because I'm like, I don't like guns. But I never wanted to take them away from people. I was always pumped up. Like, I lived in West Virginia. I had friends that had a whole arsenal. Literally, they could start an entire war by themselves. That's what liberals and progressives don't understand. I know people with like hundreds of guns and body armor and stuff. And I always enjoyed it. Even when I was liberal leaning, I was like, hey, that's the friend I'm going to go chill with when things go down. I'm going to his house, I was like, and I knew those people, they're not trying to start war. It's in case something goes down, like AKA leftisms go to power and they turn us into Venezuela and try to take the guns. That's why the Second Amendment's there. So yes, I'm extremely pro Second Amendment. Thank you, Brent from Nebraska. God bless you. Paul said, why didn't you go to CPAC? They're getting kind of fake. I don't want to speak on that. It's much love. But I will say they didn't invite me. And I don't want to, it's not all about me. It's about the culture. But you got to admit it's a mistake not to let me perform I Like Trump at CPAC. Imagine me. I like Trump. I don't really give a, oh y'all. And you got Mitch McConnell just dabbing on him. And then you got you got Ted Cruz doing the worm. I like Trump. Like, it's a huge mistake not to let me perform at CPAC. It's okay. I'll forgive them if they let me perform next year, but it's not even for me. Like, I'll live, but it's like you're doing the country a disservice by not letting Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz live on stage, dabbing with me.